What's the dumbest thing you did that actually worked? When I was 22, I worked at this tiny marketing firm downtown called Peak Creative. The boss, Mr. Jacobson, absolutely hated my guts. Not because I was bad at my job or anything. I actually worked pretty hard. But from day one, he just had it out for me. Maybe it was because I was young, or maybe he thought I was too casual. But literally, everything I did annoyed him. Like, I'd suggest an idea in meetings and he'd shoot it down immediately. I'd finish projects early and he'd find ways to criticize them. Once I brought donuts for the whole office and he made this passive-aggressive comment about unprofessional food choices. The guy was actively looking for a reason to fire me. So one Friday morning, I'm running late because my alarm didn't go off. I grab my usual large coffee from the place downstairs and rush to the elevator. But as soon as I sit down at my desk, disaster strikes. I knock over my entire coffee. We're talking a full 20-ounce cup, all over my office chair. The brown liquid just soaks into the fabric, dripping onto the floor, creating this massive stain. I'm standing there in panic mode because I know Jacobson always does his morning walkthrough in like 10 minutes. This chair cost the company probably $400, and it's completely ruined. I'm thinking, this is it. This is how I get fired. Over spilled coffee. I grab some paper towels and start dabbing, but it's hopeless. The stain is huge, and the chair smells like a coffee shop dumpster. That's when I spot this giant roll of duct tape on my coworker Pete's desk. He uses it to fix everything. His monitor stand, his desk drawer, even his coffee mug handle. Without thinking, I grab the tape and just start going crazy with it. I cover the entire seat in duct tape, wrapping it around and around like I'm mummifying the thing. It takes the whole roll, but I manage to cover every inch of the stained fabric. The chair now looks like some weird art project, all shiny and silver. By lunchtime, everyone's walking by my desk just to stare. My coworkers are cracking up, calling it my space chair and the throne of shame. Pete keeps asking if I've lost my mind. But the worst part is when Jacobson does his afternoon rounds. He stops right behind my desk, just staring at this ridiculous duct tape contraption I'm sitting on. Then he leans down real close and whispers, "Enjoy your last day, kid." He had this smug little smirk like he finally had his excuse to get rid of me. I spent the rest of the day updating my resume and mentally preparing for unemployment. Everyone knew I was done for. Even the receptionist Kim gave me this sympathetic look when I walked past her desk. But then, right before closing time, everything changed. The big client from New York, Mrs. Patterson from Zenith Brands, showed up for a surprise visit. She's this powerhouse woman who handles like half our biggest accounts. Everyone immediately goes into panic mode, straightening ties and clearing their desks. Jacobson's doing his whole song and dance, giving her the grand tour of our professional workspace and talented team. They're walking around, and I'm trying to hide behind my computer screen, hoping she doesn't notice my ridiculous chair situation. But of course, she stops right at my desk. She's looking around at all the sleek, expensive office furniture, the fancy ergonomic chairs, the polished conference table. Then her eyes land on my duct tape throne. She just stares at it for what feels like forever. The whole office goes dead silent. I can feel Jacobson behind her, probably grinning because he thinks this is going to be the final nail in my coffin. Then she turns to me and goes, "Whose idea was this?" I'm sweating bullets, but I manage to croak out, "Mine, ma'am." She nods slowly, then says, "I like this guy's energy. He's not afraid to get his hands dirty and solve problems creatively. That's exactly who I want leading our next campaign." You should have seen Jacobson's face. He went from smug to completely pale in about 2 seconds. Mrs. Patterson kept talking about how most marketing people are all polish and no substance, but she could tell I was different. By Monday morning, instead of getting fired, I got promoted to account manager for Zenith Brands. Mrs. Patterson specifically requested me for the project, telling Jacobson she wanted to work with the creative guy with the chair.